Where my freaks at? Rhode Island freaks. Where my cucks at? Yeah. All right. Where my Wednesday night South Kingston crowd at? Let's hear it for you all. Thanks for making it out. We're gonna do a little Q&A now, so you cue them and we am. This is, who's this right here? Is Josh, you introduce him? Lucky will do it. Who's this?
This is Lucky Cerruti. I made the movie before this movie, a little movie called Freak. Thank you for watching that. And who is this right here?
I'm Rives Elliot, writer and director of The Secret of Cuck Island, which you just saw. And you know this guy.
Yeah! I'm John Burgio from The Secret of Cuck Island, actor and editor.
Yeah! So you got any questions? All right! Oh, here we go. Josh Stalin, Horror Depot.
Yes! Thank you.
Thanks to Josh for putting on the show. So, first off, these are crazy independent films. Obviously over the top in every way, shape, and form. How did you guys come up with the stories? Your movie was first, baby.
All right.
Come on, let's go.
So the story for Freak actually was a separate script originally. It was for a much bigger budget than I imagined that I would get someday. It took place in New York City, similar to The Secret of Cuck Island. The creature who didn't have a name in that script lived in the subway systems, like in the tunnels. And the girl who ended up being Jenna in the movie was like this painter who had a studio, and she was like walking home one night, and these muggers tried to take advantage of her or whatever, and the creature saves her, and they fall in love, and they it was actually a little bit more of a weird, messed up kind of love story, but. It was the script was very skeletal. It wasn't. It was maybe didn't even finish the first draft. It was very rudimentary. But after the pandemic happened, me and Matt Sorensen, who my producing partner, who made the movie with me, we were kind of left not having anything to do. So we took a bunch of friends and we were like, let's try to make a movie. So I revisited whatever I had. I pulled some scenes that just little. That's how I write. I write in chunks. I write set pieces and kills or whatever. So I pieced some stuff together. The script was called Subway Freak when I originally wrote it. I chopped the subway off of it and it became Freak. And yeah, we made it, in 16 days. And it was very inspired by, I love slasher movies. And I just wanted to make a slasher movie. I didn't want to necessarily reinvent the wheel. I wanted the kills to be cool, I wanted a cool creature, and I wanted there to be some sympathy there because those are the monsters that I respond to the most. So that's kind of where it came from. I always have, when I write, usually I have one set piece or one kill that I kind of work around, and that kill was the split head in the tent. I was oh, if he comes through the tent and you see him through a split head, that would be cool. And what would, so working around that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty cut and dry, which is just fine for me.
Right. That's my favorite kill in the movie. What kill do you all like? I like the split head. The decapitation in the beginning is pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
The jaw, the girl.
Oh yeah, it's pretty messed up. Yeah.
Actually, was more
Right.
disturbed by the rocks, actually, the crushing of the skull. Oh my god, it's
Yeah, there's a head smashed against the rock, and then later there's a rock smashed against the head.
He uses what he has.
Okay.
He uses what he has.
Yeah. I like it. I'm gonna give a more honest answer than usual. Cuck Island I wrote after being a frustrated screenwriter for a long time, trying to write, just good movies, but not thinking about the budget or anything like that, and submitting them to, the blacklist and different competitions and going, please read my script, please, like my script, please, just buy it and give me money, please. I decided to actually get smart and take it back a little bit and write a script that just featured like places I know and people I knew that I could get to be in it. That's not necessarily who ended up in it by the end, and it got maybe a little more ambitious, but that I decided to pare it back and just, I'm gonna use the resources I have and write a script around that. And that's the main thing that made it possible. Now I wrote some garbage versions of a New York infernal Odyssey. That was my mind. A little bit of the Inferno, a little bit of the Odyssey. Basically just somebody having a shitty adventure in New York. That was the basic original idea. But then I saw this guy, shirtless, in a bow tie, holding a raccoon with the big old titties.
Sounds like a crazy party.
Yeah, a raccoon. Well, it was, dude. It was on the set of Troma's hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm. And I would just work the pickup days on it, and I just saw so much bizarre shit. But out of all of it, this dude just smiling burned so deeply into my mind that I rewrote the script to star him, and it all came together from there. So that's how you do it. If you write it, your muse will appear shirtless with a bow tie, holding the fucking big titty raccoon. Any other questions?
Your parents watch this?
Not only did my parents watch this, I watched this with my parents, where it was my dad, me, my mom on a sofa. And I thought it was gonna be hilarious. We're gonna record it we're gonna do a mom and dad commentary for the DVD. It was dead silent from start to finish. And then at the end of it, my mom, who is a sweetheart, was like, "Oh, I loved it." And my dad will not make eye contact with me, and he goes, "There's a couple things differently I would have done artistically." And then he avoided me the rest of the night. And that's my parents' take on this. They have since come around to it, but it was definitely a shock to him. And my mom, she's supportive. I love her. I love him too. But
The only thing my dad says was, "That's a lot more of John Burge than I wanted to see." He got the name wrong. That's it. That's the sum total of his feedback. My mom hasn't seen it.
My parents have not seen it. Yeah, my parents haven't seen it. My parents have seen my movie, but my movie is very tame compared to Cuck Island. But yeah, I mean, they're fine. They're just like, oh, that's what he's always liked to do, is pretend to play with monsters. So it's just an extension of that. It's nothing new.
Oh, is there another question? Are we good? Yeah. Oh, sorry, they don't understand all the questions.
What was one of the toughest scenes or sequences you guys had to film for your respective movies?
Man, it was so long ago. Since we only shot it in 16 days, the days were long, obviously. And the night stuff, shooting at night is always really hard because everybody's tired. And we did shoot on in the woods, obviously. Bugs were really bad. Any of those kind of night shoots, especially the night in the tent, because the blood was kind of sweet and syrupy and stuff, so it was just attracting all of these things, and so in the shot you see the split head. It goes down to maybe chest. That dummy is just chest. It doesn't have any arms or anything. So I am laying on the ground of the tent, holding it with one hand, and then this is how crazy small the crew was. I was holding the thing, shaking it, pumping blood with this hand. It was coming out of one of those gardening things, the air pressure gardening things. So I'm pumping it and I'm shaking it, and then Matt, who is puppeteering Arthur's hands, and then Leslie Dame, who is another producing partner of mine who is in the movie, she is puppeteering the head behind the hands. So the hands and the head were separate. It was very, very complicated for a very short amount of time. That was tough. and then like bugs, and everybody wanted to go home, and that was late. So that's probably it.
First off, thanks to Marianne, the director of the Courthouse Center for the Arts, for having us today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're talking about hardest scenes. Well, there is one particular famous scene that it might have been difficult to perform when the sound guy has you mic'd up and is listening from the next room. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, I did. Because the sound guy was my roommate, and so I'm sitting there trying. I've got to, get prepared, hit record, and then I'd be in position and hear like, "You're breathing too heavy in the mic," from my roommate while I'm trying to jerk off. Anyway, it was a nuisance. But, yeah.
Well, okay. So the one scene that gave me PTSD early on in the movie, if you remember, there's the clown. She's doing tricks in the park. She squirts him in the eye. So we scouted this park right after COVID in the Lower East Side, which I forget the name, but whatever. It's there was that homelessness and heroin use in the streets increased wildly in New York City over the pandemic. And while this park definitely had a couple junkies here and there, when I scouted it out beforehand, I did not anticipate how many junkies would show up as soon as you bring a hot clown to film something in a Lower East Side park in the middle of summer. And it's like they have some sort of wire telegram system or just some psychic junkie sense. It's like every goddamn junkie in the city descended on this park as soon as they heard there was this hot clown doing tricks. So it was a very stressful day. Literally every scene, it was like clap, Pipsy with Pinwheel, the Princess Apparel, take 3, clap, push a junkie away with my foot. We had one guy that kept dancing. It's just like, nope, and film scene. And so that was a very stressful afternoon. But Pipsy was just like, yep, another day for me. I'm so much more used to this than you know. So that was the psychically damaging day. I don't know if it was the most stressful in terms of hours and getting it done, but that's the one that if I ever go to a therapist, I'll talk about.
If you 3 were stuck on an island, who's getting eaten first?
We were talking about this in the car.
I don't like that we were talking.
We were talking about it in the car, and I think that you brought it up because you were like, "I'm worried." You.
So I'm worried that I am of prime eating capability. There's a lot of cannibal movies, and I think it's going to be a trend in the next year or two. Mark my words here on this camera. Cannibalism is going to be popular. It's growing, and I'm afraid because I have both the meat, but also the fat to use to cook in it. So I think it would be.
Basically, John said he was going to take a preemptive strike and take someone out first because he knows he's the. I think that's how it ended.
It did.
So whichever guy he kills first. I think it's literally the second. I think. Well, now you've warned us.
Yeah.
But if it was the 3 of us on an island, I don't know who you killing first, John.
I mean, I'm gonna.
You don't have to answer. We still got a car ride home. We still got a car ride home. Next question.
Favorite horror movie?
We just talked about this. How do you ask a horror fan?
It's tough. I'll give you a couple. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 74. Pet Cemetery 89. That might be controversial, but god damn it, do I love that movie. Maniac, 1980.
Classic.
Maniac. Cannibal Holocaust. I know. Sorry. I love it so much, and I don't care. It's very important to me, and it's an important movie in cinema, and I will argue that forever. I guess those are 4 that I can think of right off the top of my head. Day of the Dead, love Day of the Dead. Ooh, I sound like Dwayne. Jaws, that counts to me. I don't know. Yeah, those are a few. What do you got?
Curse of the Weredeer, Cannibal Mukbang, Eating Miss Campbell, all the rest of the, and a little movie called Freak.
Brown noser.
No, I don't know. You got any?
Yeah, I really like Reanimator. I like Creature from the Black Lagoon. Dead Alive. Is that horror? Is that comedy?
Yes.
I love it. Yeah, those are the ones that come to mind immediately for me.
Yeah, I The Thing.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's The Thing. That's my favorite. But I feel like I gotta like say underrepresented titles. So Tetsuo, of course.
Nice.
Begotten.
Wow.
Even though that's a tough one to get through. I like the first 5 minutes, right? That's what people watch, right? And then you're good. I don't know. Oh, The Stuff. That's a great one. What else? What are there? Yeah, Street Trash. Why not? You know what? My favorite horror films are yet to be made.
Nobody said Necromantic. I know both of you guys have Necromantic.
Fuck! All right, rewind the tape. This movie right here, Necromantic. That's it. That's what. All three of us just say Necromantic. Just cut this section. What's our favorite horror film? Necromantic.
Yeah, Necromantic.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
Right on cue. That's
Yeah.
We've been practicing, we can't tell.
Yeah, you guys were good at that. So, when you put this tour together, and you got all the extras, are they just all your friends, and you were like, "Hey, let's represent"? Or any of your friends like, "No, don't put my movie or my trailer on"?
We were actually talking about this in the car too. There were a few people that we had to be like, no, we're not going to show your trailer because we just like ended up with so much. Like, this is a cool thing that Rives mostly put together that not a lot of people do. People don't really take weird movies that we made with our friends out on the road. Nobody really does that. So a lot of friends were kind of looking at this as kind of like a trial, like, is this going to work? Is this something that, we should pursue or whatever? So I think a lot of our friends that have trailers that you saw were really excited to be a part of it. I mean, they obviously don't lose anything. It's just a trailer. And like in the case of Cannibal Mukbang and Weredeer and Eating Miss Campbell to a certain extent, those are movies that people haven't seen. Some of the trailers are movies that are a little bit more readily available that you can like go home and watch. So they want to get people excited too about their movies that they're making. And we love everybody that had a movie that played, the trailer rather, so we're just happy to bring them on, right?
Yeah, totally. Honestly, if any of the trailers you liked, just reach out directly to them, say, hey, I want you to come to my hometown, play somewhere near me I can get to. And, it may seem cool they made a film and everything, but I promise they are just like sweaty, schlubby idiots like the rest of us that are like, it may take them 9 months or 2 years to actually show up, but it'll get in their heads. They'll hear it when you say, come to my place, and eventually it'll happen. Also, like here tonight, baby, yeah! We've been asking every place so far, what was your favorite trailer? Did you have a favorite trailer tonight?
Question for you.
We're here. I heard I Need You Dead. Is that you, I Need You Dead?
I Need You Dead.
I Need You Dead. For
You were a boss, you said that last night. All right.
Yeah,
Meanest Murder has been the second favorite every single night, so...
That Patreon buffet thing though really made me chuckle.
They just started
What?
They just started a podcast buffet, fully available for free on Spotify, Apple,
Highly recommend.
wherever you get your podcasts. It is hilarious. They're like 20 episodes in. It's free. I highly recommend it.
I'm gonna tell John Brennan his was number one because you're partial. You worked on the movie, and your vote counted. Yours was the only vote yesterday in Boston. We got to give it to the one neutral party that's seen none of this shit before. Yeah. All right, how are we doing? We got it.
Yeah.
Is there any other questions?
Thank you for coming to Rhode Island.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much
guys.
for making it out.
Thank you to the Courthouse Center for the Arts for housing the Freaky Secrets tour.
Yeah.
Thank you to you, viewers like you, for coming out on a Wednesday night.
So thanks to Horror Depot.
Horror Depot.
Thanks to everyone that helped promote the show. I know some of you are promoting it in your hometowns and making it out. Hell yeah. And scene. Everybody get home safe.